thank you for the feedback. So I was thinking of doing a stream on Sunday, maybe around 4 or 4:30, because I'm going to New York this weekend, and I wouldn't have time to do like a long stream like I usually do with Sean. But if I have the time, I can do a stream, and then right after that, I can head to Sean's stream. And I'll advise anybody that's watching to also head to Sean's stream at 5. Usually, always starts the stream at 5. But I'll just like real quick talk about just the chapter, the SBS, and the Beaver card. Again, I don't know if I'm doing that for sure on Sunday because I'm going to be in New York. I'm not going to be home. I don't know what I'm going to be doing at that time, but I just might. Now, I was going to talk about this whole Yamato's gender on Sunday, but then I seen some people like having an issue with it. So, I figured, all right, I'll talk about it now. There was a video not that long ago. I actually talked about this. Like, my take on Yamato's gender isn't new. I talked about it in a previous chapter. I mean, it was like a one take. That's when I talk about the previous chapters. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I found it. I'll show it on stream. But yeah, just wanted to give a bit about what this stream is going to be about. It's really only going to be the one topic. I'm not going to go on and on about anything else. If I do, it'll be on Sunday. But yeah, so just to catch everybody up, I wish I had a link. The funny thing, I don't even know if this is true or not, because I haven't seen, I usually go to Artur's website to see the new Viver card information. He doesn't have it up, but so many people have talked about it. It must be true, I guess, where Yamato's gender was revealed to be female. So the first thing I want to address is, is Oda transphobe? Obviously, he can't be. I'm not gonna say it's definitive he can't be a transphobe, but if he has trans characters in the story, then why would one character not being transgendered make him transphobic? That's just ridiculous. I think the perfect example of like Oda obviously wanting to put someone that is transgendered in his story is you have Okiku, born Kiku Nojo. Right? If you're using, the terminology within the LGBT or specifically trans community, you would say that's Okiku's dead name would be Kiku Nojo. That's how Kiku Nojo, born as a male, that's the name. But now, she identifies as a woman. She says she has the heart of a woman, which means on the inside, and who she is, despite her physical body being one way, who she is on the inside is her heart, who she truly is as a person. I actually referenced this in one of my One Piece videos about like the heart chakra and stuff like that. I say the heart is who the person is, spiritually on the inside. That's who they are as a person. So that, just right off the bat, it doesn't make sense to say, Oda is transgendered because, he doesn't want that representation. It's just nonsense. Obviously, he's completely fine with it and puts it in his story. So that's just right off the bat to explain why it doesn't make sense to call him transphobic. Now, what really confuses me about this topic is why would someone even consider Yamato transgendered in the first place. And I'm actually gonna pull up a video, just my own video that I talked about. I have to turn the desktop audio up. Yamato. I can mute my own. Yamato is fighting Sasaki's crew, and she's actually taking a lot of damage, and it makes me wonder if she's almost doing that on purpose, like maybe being a hero things. Like, she has it throughout this fight. You can't go all out because he has to war and I have to do this and that. She like, just do whatever you gotta do. She's clearly very strong. It can be suspenseful and we can fight interesting in ways that I don't necessarily want to see Yamato a part of the crew. I think she could shine, and I do say she because I don't see her as the same as someone like Okiku, where Okiku is straight up transgendered. She says she has the heart of a woman, right? She just says, oh, I'm a man because I'm idolize this other man and I want to embody that man. And it's like different. It's not the same thing. She's just saying, I'm a man because I just want to be Odin. Yeah, so basically, if someone is transgendered, from what I've known, obviously I'm not transgendered, so I don't know specifically the mind of someone that is trans. But, you know, you can listen to other people's story. You can listen to what other people say about themselves. So, what a lot of people say, and this just isn't just for like someone that's transgendered, you can say this for someone of sexuality in general and trans identity, which is, it's not a choice. You don't choose to go, oh, I'm gonna like this person of the same sex, or oh, I don't feel like I'm born in the right body. That's like one of the main talking points for someone who is pro LGBT, and it's one of the main talking points that people are against. They go, it's a choice. That's you're choosing that lifestyle. So if you go, Yamato is trans, you're actually having the same ideology of someone who is transphobic. That's why the thumbnail is that's why the thumbnail comes across as a bit aggressive. But really, I'm not trying to say someone's intentionally ignorant or transphobic. It's just, how can you sit here and say, you know, if you're an ally, you might even go to say, oh, I'm woke and this and that. If you really are, you know, someone who believes in trans right and believe transgendered experience, how can you sit there and go, well, Yamato's transgender because she wants to be Odin? You're basically saying, oh, it's a choice. She's choosing it. And that goes completely against what so many people that are transgender fight for. They fight to say, no, it's not a choice. It's unfortunate circumstances. They go, I'm born in the wrong body. Yamato's, if you say has trouble with identity, she's saying, I'm born with the wrong soul. Basically, she's saying she's trans Odin, which makes no sense. So how can you go and say, and yeah, I see the Artur is one of the people that have been saying Yamato is transgender, and it was beyond me to comprehend why he was pushing for that. But here's the two things I've been thinking. Either you're someone who just doesn't understand, like, you know, trans identity. Maybe you don't know anybody in your life. I mean, personally, I don't really know someone who has transitioned or said that I'm born in the wrong body. Like, on a personal level, I don't know it. But I've seen, you know, people's experience, YouTube videos, documentary here and there, you know, I've listened to other people what they have to say. So maybe you just don't know on like, you understand trans on a surface level. So you don't put two and two together to think to yourself, oh, it doesn't make sense that Yamato is transgendered because she's clearly choosing to want to be Odin. You know, she says he inspired me, he captivated me. That's not the same thing as Okiku, who's like, I have this physical body, but inside my true identity is Okiku. I'm a woman. You know, Kikunojo didn't see a woman named Okiku and go, oh, I'm gonna be that. No, she's saying, this is just who I truly am inside. You know, one of the things Yamato says to Luffy is, oh, I know you're more Odin than me. Clearly, she just conceptualized this in her head, like, this is what I strive to be. It's not the same thing. Another thing I think is maybe people want that representation so badly in One Piece, in a mainstream media, that they want, you know, Yamato to be transgendered. And I can sympathize with that. But if you want representation, you want it to be organic. You want it to be real. You don't want it to be forced and just go, oh, anybody can just be transgendered so long as they just want to be a different gender. That's just forcing. That's inorganic, and that's really disrespectful and discrediting people who actually are transgender. You know, I can understand wanting that representation in so many aspects, whether it be, you know, gender, sexuality, race, but it has to be authentic. And the thing is, how can you get upset with Oda when he actually has already done that? You already have Kiku. Now, granted, I'm not even saying Oda has to be the most progressive and woke writer. And, you know, there are some things you could look at and be like, you know, that's kind of problematic. Look at the way he shows cross-dressers in the Okama Island. It's really weird, you know, it's kind of like showing them as grotesque and stuff. But not all of them are like that, you know. You have the scissor hand guy. So the thing is, you know, you could look at that. That's a little problematic. But at the same time, you're not supposed to go to One Piece to get the most progressive storytelling in the world. Like, it does its thing where it does show a bunch of representation. It does show, you know, the problems of people and segregation and oppression and stuff like that. But at the same time, you got to remember, it's still shonen. Like, shonen literally is like about the boy's story, not even about a man, an adult male. It's like young men to boys, like literal, like children, not even teenage boys. That's the demographic. You shouldn't expect One Piece to just be this beacon of light and progressiveness. It's just, that's asking too much, and it just isn't that genre. You know, he's gonna make those jokes showing a cross-gendered, you know, Sanji getting grossed out. It's just the way the story is framed to be. So it's just weird to me that people would be so heavily invested in trying to almost force this narrative that Yamato is transgendered. You know, I'm certainly... Are there transphobic fans in One Piece? Yeah, of course. I mean, One Piece is worldwide. You have people of all walks of life within the fandom of One Piece. And you just got to deal with that. That's just the reality, that there are people who have different beliefs. And it's not Oda's job to like inform and educate these people and implement in story and have this transgender character and that transgender character. I mean, he's doing a good job with Okiku, because if you think about Okiku's character, the crux of her character isn't that she's transgender. She's just an awesome samurai that also happens to be transgendered. And I think that's one of the best ways to go about having representation. It's not being forced down your throat. You're just loving, like, to me, I think Okiku's awesome. She's dedicated to Odin. You know, she's about her job, her conviction. You know, there's just so many great qualities about Okiku, and she also just happens to be a trans woman. They tried to cancel Joy Boy. I must have missed that. But it's like, you know, I don't have nowhere near enough of a following to get canceled. But you saw that video. I've been saying for a while now that Yamato is not transgendered, and people just need like a little bit of a rude awakening. You know, I hope someone with a bigger following kind of just makes this notion more, you know, wide known. I don't want it to be like aggressive and just start calling people transphobic for thinking Yamato is transgendered. I kind of just added that to the thumbnail just to be a little bit clickbaity. But really, they just need a bit of a wake-up call. If you think that Yamato is transgendered, you are probably unknowingly agreeing with people that actually are transphobic, because you're saying Yamato chooses to be a man. You're saying Yamato just it's, I didn't even think about this till now. You're also saying that Yamato was influenced. Like, that's one of the transphobic talking points, is that, you know, if you have certain things on TV, it'll influence someone to think that they're transgendered. That's like, so it's like there's so many ways that it's actually against transgendered and the LGBT to think that Yamato is transgendered. It's like literally the opposite of what you should want. And Oda shouldn't have to get on a mic and explain that to you if you really believe you're an ally and you follow along these, you know, the ideology. You really should put it together yourself, that it doesn't make sense and it's actually against what you believe. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on this topic. That was pretty much everything. Since it's a live stream, I might as well make sure I look at all the chats, and thank you to everyone that joined. I'll probably find some way to cut this, maybe post it as a video, or just leave it up as the way it is. But yeah, thank you again. I'm gonna try my best to make a live stream on Sunday around 4, maybe 4:30. If not, I'm gonna do my best to join Sean's stream and just talk about this chapter. I think I read the fan translation. Just to give a rating, you know, what I think of it. I say, at first I was like, it's a 7 out of 10. It was kind of a little bit lackluster, but then I thought about it. Maybe it's because all the previous chapters were so good that I thought this chapter wasn't as great, so then I bumped it up to an 8. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, but just know that I'm not like super hype about this chapter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your comments. I didn't know the thing about Joey, but that's so wild that people would try to cancel him. When, I mean, I know there's gray areas with opinions and stuff, but I feel like if you think Yamato is transgendered, you're both wrong. Like, literally, she's not transgender, she's female, or it's stated. And you're wrong also just like ethically, if you're wrong ethically if you do stand with LGBT, which is ironically a lot of the people that are outraged. It's like they're being their own worst enemy, unironically. But